Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. This is Pit Talk, pulling pits and opinions with your host, Gunny G on the mic. We got a special guest, but before we get there, follow, like, subscribe everywhere you get your podcasts on social media, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, YouTube. YouTube's in work in progress. But ladies and gentlemen, this is Pit Talk, pulling pits and opinions. We got a special guest, aka the Barracks Barber, for known as. Go ahead.
Kevin Martinez.
Kevin Martinez, the infamous Barracks Barber. Ladies and gentlemen, if you don't know him, you probably should know him because he's the Mexican Rick Ross. You know what I'm saying? And then some. Hey, Kevin, introduce yourself. Tell us about yourself, where you come from, where you're at, what you're doing now.
For sure. All right, so my name is Kevin Martinez, um, aka the Barracks Barber. Damn, it's a long story. Originally from Patterson, New Jersey, and Patterson. If you're from Jersey, you know that Patterson is super. Can I curse on here?
Hey, dude, you do as you want, boo boo. It's your
Uh,
show.
I bet. So if you're from Jersey, you know Patterson's super fucking ghetto. So that's where I come from. My family is Colombian. I was born in Jersey, Jordan, born in Patterson. Growing up, I just played soccer my whole life, and then like I guess after high school, I never really thought about college. I wasn't really a great student, so I did like 1 year of college, community college. The next year, I dropped out and just worked for a whole year, and then I had a buddy of mine who introduced me to his boy that was joining the Marine Corps. Then, like a couple days later, I talked to his recruiter because we just got along really well. And then 3.5 weeks later, I was in fucking boot camp.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, so that was fucking like summer 2010, and I knew nothing about the military, absolutely nothing. I, I ended up signing a reserve contract. I barely knew what the reserve was. I didn't know the difference between Marines and Army. All I knew was that I wanted to get out of my environment. I wanted to like see something. I needed some guidance in my life. And my recruiter told me that, oh, you don't have to deploy. You can just deny those orders. I'm like, that dude, sign me up. And then, when you join the Marine Corps, you join boot camp, and you graduate boot camp and all that shit. Um, you want to fucking deploy.
Yeah.
You want to fucking see some shit. It's just automatic because if your boy is deployed, you want to deploy with them. Like if you
Hmm.
see your boy get into a bar fight, fuck, you're not just gonna watch him get jumped. You're gonna fucking jump into.
Yeah.
But before I skip past that, fucking boot camp. I went to boot camp July of 2010, and I was in boot camp for 19 weeks because I dislocated my shoulder.
Hell yes.
Yeah, I guess like 2 weeks in, dude. And it was at the confidence course, and I remember, the monkey bars.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, so I was on the monkey
Ugh.
bars, and it's a previous injury. But like my
Huh.
recruiter, he was like, "Don't even trip. You'll be fine. So just take the fucking number, you know." And yeah, I remember it was the last obstacle of the day. Hold on, what is this? Use iPhone modulator. It was the last obstacle of the confidence course, and I remember I saw those monkey bars, dude, and I was like, dude, I pray to God we don't do this one. And then we hit up all the obstacles, and we had like 15 minutes to kill. And my drill instructor was like, "We're doing this fucking obstacle." I was like, "Fuck!" I already know how it's gonna fucking play out, dude. And I'm fucking like stressing the fuck out. And then I see everybody going on there and fucking crushing it, and I'm like, "Dog, just fucking face the music. You already know what's gonna fucking happen." So I got on I grabbed it with my right hand because that's my strong arm. Then I'm like, fuck. And as soon as I grabbed the second one to swing, bah, my shit fucking popped out, dude.
Oh hell no.
Hanging up on this fucking uh bar on my with my fucking dislocated shoulder, and I had to fucking drop down. And then I remember my drill instructor was like, "You fucking bitch," and I was like, my shoulder
You
popped
might
out.
hold on. I was time out, time out. You might have misunderstood what he said. You were in kind of fog of war. You were in pain. I don't think he said that. I just go ahead, continue though, continue.
And then I remember I was like, I dislocated my shoulder. He was like, "You weak bitch. I'll rip your arm off and beat you to death with it." And then I'll never forget that. And I mean, he was just like, he's a regular. I don't know. I can't be too mad at him. He's a fucking drill instructor. I'm sure he's a nice guy, but he was a fucking dick.
Shoot.
And then
Oh my
yeah,
god.
I got dropped for 6 weeks. Went to MRP. The shit felt like a fucking mental institute in there. And yeah, I went back into training. They were like, "Yeah, you're good to go." And I'm like, "No, I'm not, dude. I already know." And then I ended up graduating as a squad leader, which is pretty awesome.
Yeah.
And that was like the first time in my life where I ever like had a goal and ever like believed in myself. And like it doesn't seem like a lot for like other people who served and whatnot, but like to me, that's like one of the proudest moments of my life was to overcome all that shit and then graduate as a squad leader, and graduate as a Marine and all that.
Yeah.
So I was in the reserve, and after boot camp, MCT, that's where I met my wife.
Hmm.
We met in formation like that first day. It was like third squad. I know it sounds corny as fuck, but yeah, we met in formation, and we've been together ever since. We've been married for like 12 years now, going on 12 years. We have two fucking beautiful boys. One of them's 10, the other one's going on 5. Um, then after that, I remember MCT was cold as fuck. It was in December, and it was the coldest I've ever been in my life. But soon after that, we graduated and then checked into Camp Johnson, and then that's where I ran into you a couple times.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess we just had like mutual friends and shit. I don't think we've ever actually spoke though.
No, not at PA school, no.
Nah, but I
Just
seen
kind of
you around.
yeah.
Yeah, and then that's where me and my wife started dating because she went to PA school and I was a mechanic, so we were like the barracks were like I don't know like a block away from each other,
Yeah.
and yeah, and then she got stationed at Camp Pendleton, and then I ended up going back to Jersey because I was in the reserve. We did the long distance for like 6 7 months, and then I moved out to California and we got married. So yeah, we got married like the day before the Marine Corps birthday.
Solid. That's a good way to celebrate.
Yeah, right.
Let's
So
go to the
every year,
balls.
yeah, every year is our anniversary, Marine Corps birthday, and then Veterans Day.
Hell yes.
Yeah,
That's a
just saying.
solid weekend, dog. Solid weekend. That's what's up.
And then from
Are you
there,
oh go ahead, go ahead. Go ahead.
so from there, so I did an inter-unit transfer from Six Motors in Red Bank, New Jersey, to Fort LAR in 41 area, Las Flores and Pendleton, and yeah, and that's pretty much where I did the rest of my time over there. We never got to deploy, so pretty much like by the time like I hit the fleet or whatever, it was like peacetime. Like when I checked into my unit in Jersey, um, dudes just got back from deployment, and I think that was one of their last pumps. And then when I checked into Fort LAR, they just got back from deployment like a year ago, and that was their last pump. So I missed it. I missed it right there. So like I joined 2 years after high school, and I feel like if I would have joined right out of high school, I probably would have caught one of the last deployments. But I waited 2 years and pretty much, you know,
I get you.
down rating and all that shit. Reservists are like the first ones to like, hey, you're not deploying anymore. You know?
It's funny you say that. It's because you're the first ones to go, though.
What's up?
At least in my experience, when the deployment hit, when I was deployed, the reservists made up the main body. Like they were most of the Marines or most of the. Well, I was deployed with Army Air Force. Marines will go in the MAV, 2 MAV, whatever it is. But when the Army and the Air Force deploy together, it's usually the reservists that take off first. That's how
Oh,
they fill
really?
their bodies. Yeah, at least that's what my experience was in 2013. But
Yeah.
long story short, dog, it's what do you so what are you doing now? What's your profession now? You know what I mean? How are you killing bodies and killing babies today?
Well, being a mechanic, I never liked it. Though every drill weekend, fucking, I get told what to do. As soon as we left home, I fucking brain dumped all that shit every fucking weekend. So like, it wasn't fun for me. But towards the end of it, my last year, that's when I started cutting hair, and I'll cut hair in the tool room when we would go to the field. 18, that's when I started cutting hair and taking it more serious. And yeah, so like I remember the day I checked out the Marine Corps. I checked out on a Friday morning. That next day, since I was in the reserve, I graduated barber school. And then since then, I just been a full time barber for the past like fucking 7, 8 years.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Are you a master barber?
I mean, when it comes to if I'm comparing myself, if I'm talking to a room of barbers, everybody's gonna be like, "You're not a master barber because you need to learn everything because trends always change and all this shit." But if it's like regular everyday people who just get haircuts like yours or whatever, just haircuts like mine, I'll say yeah, like for sure. I'll
Yeah,
do that shit.
that's what's up. So Kev, you're
Yeah,
out in Oceanside.
yeah.
Are you guys still? Is your wife still in?
No, she works at Wounded Warrior.
Oh, okay, sweet, nice.
Yeah.
That's what's up.
You still
Okay,
do administration?
what's that?
You still do administration?
Yeah, I'm still 01, 13 years deep. I can't change it now. It's too late, and I'm E7, so Gunner Sergeant. So it's kind of like I'm knee deep in it. And plus, I'm not gonna lie to you. I like helping and supporting Marines in their mission, right? So if their headspace is good with all this weird stuff that I do, right, then
Yeah.
they're more prone to complete the mission accordingly, right? So I
That's
like what I do. I support the Marines. Right now I'm in Washington Marine Corps Security Force Bangor, uh, super sweet duty station. So
kills
far,
it.
anyways. The
It's a
the
pretty
the weather, yeah, the weather is nice, man. Like when me and my wife sit out in back or in the front, and we just gonna go outside for a walk. It is super surreal. Like you walk outside, you stop breathing for a second, and you just take it all in, and you hear the wind blowing. That's how quiet it is, dude. It's not the city, man. It's an amazing change of pace, and it's good for me and my family. So right now we're kind of soaking it up, and we're enjoying the time so far. We haven't hit
well,
rainy season yet, but uh, they say it's pretty bad here. So I'm here for 3 years. So I'll be here for 3 years.
so you just recently like checked in?
Yeah, recent this year. Yeah, this year I got here July. So
Oh,
yeah, there
where,
was a
where,
bit of a delay. What's that?
where were you before that?
Well, I haven't spoken to Kev or ran into Kev since 2010, right? Or 2010, yeah, 2010. So 2010, yeah, 2010. I went to obviously PA school, and then we checked into camp. I checked into Camp Pendleton with my family. From Pendleton, we went to Iwakuni, Japan. Iwakuni, Japan. We went to San Diego Marine Corps Recruit Depot, San Diego, and after that, we went
What
to
year?
Marine Corps Base. Well, hold on. We'll get there. We'll get there. We'll get there. And then we went to Marine Corps Base Hawaii, and then now we're here at Bangor, Washington, Silverdale Navy Base Kitsap. But yeah, that's why I said, I think you were to all my fellow drill instructors. I think Kevin was a little in the fog of war. I don't think he heard what he heard. I'm pretty sure he was just like, I'm in pain. I don't know what you're saying. He was probably saying, come on, dude, keep going, because, we're here to motivate, dedicate, and thoroughly indoctrinate young individuals, right? So I'm going to assume that you misheard, but that's a different story for another day.
Yeah, I think I remember writing a post about me.
Oh, shoot. You know what? I can't defend the post. Once it's out on the web, it's out on the web. I don't know about that one. Hey, tell me a bit about the Barracks. What gave you the idea to name it the Barracks Barber, or Barracks Barber?
No, it goes way back. So in barber school, I was ill barber. It's like I had that barber ego and shit. I'm like, I thought I was the hottest barber. It's like ill barber. I thought I was all cool. Come pandemic, I changed my name. I was ill barber and I became an ill barber because of fucking COVID. So I changed my name because it gave me I'm like, this name's fucking bad luck. So I changed my name to the Essential Barber. This was in Jersey. And then at the time, essential personnel and all that stuff. So so all the barbershops closed, because of pandemic. And I kept doing house calls. I kept cutting hair. I never stopped working,
Yeah.
And I used to do house calls in a hazmat suit. And and I changed my name to the Essential Barber. But I fucking crushed it. I learned so much from marketing like that because, dude, at one point I had 81 house calls lined up. Just fucking everybody. I made a killing during the pandemic. And the shit I'll post on social media was just like the stats of people fucking dying and shit. And, this is why you got to get your hair cut,
Nice.
And then
you got to go with the flow.
Oh yeah, roll with punches and shit. Fucking adapt and overcome.
Yeah.
And then a year and a half later, summer 2021, my wife accepted a job at Wounded Warrior. So we had to move from Jersey back to California. And they said the pandemic is like dying down already. And I'm like, this is not gonna work anymore. I already lost all my clientele because they're not gonna follow me to California.
Yeah.
So now we're in Oceanside. I'm working at a barbershop in San Clemente. And now I got to find the new name. And I was like, dude, I got to, think about it or whatever. And then I'm like, so I'm a veteran, Marine Corps veteran. I cut hair. I've actually have experience, fucking cutting hair in the reserve, in the tool room, and in the field and all this shit. I'm like, the fucking Barracks Barber. Like fucking it just made sense to me, It's just so, and it's like funny, like the Barracks Barber, Oh, you're gonna fuck my shit up, but then it's easy for someone to remember it, especially if you're a veteran.
Absolutely.
And even before all this, I had 2 other pages. One page I had 150,000 followers when I was ill barber. It was like a repost page, and then that failed. And it was just too much. And then as the Essential Barber on TikTok, I had 140,000 followers. But then I got censored because it was around the election time and I started posting election shit and then I got censored, bro. Fucking. So I used to get like 20,000, 15,000 views. I posted one time, 20 views. I'm like, what the fuck? And it never changed.
Dang.
So like I have a history of like being good with social media.
Yeah.
And I had a YouTube channel when I was ill barber. And when we moved to Jersey, I used to interview different barbers from New York, New Jersey, Pennsylvania, Connecticut. And pretty much like I'll just pull up to their shop and then just record and we'll talk. But after a while, like my second son was born and it was just too much work, so I had to like ditch that. But I learned how to record and edit and shit. So like I've always had like a foundation in social media and editing videos.
Yeah.
It's just not only till like this year I finally put it back into work to help build my brand.
Yeah, absolutely, man. That's dope because Barracks Barber. I was like, Barracks Barber. And when I clicked, because the way my news feed or my little social media feed, I don't know the lingo, but the social media feed, it's all military veteran, this, that, and the other, right? And then people will pop up. I go, wait, Barracks Barber. Clicked on them, like, that dude looks familiar. And I'm watching some videos, right? You post some stuff, and I'm like, dude, I swear that guy looks familiar. And then I don't know what happened that I reached out. I just reached out to, like, dog, I need to get you on the podcast, right? Because people know you, who you are, and you're out in the West Coast, which is 15 hours ish away. But yeah, you got a name. I'm like, Barracks Barber. And then you told me, I was like, hey, we know each other. I'm like, how? And you sent the picture. I'm like, duh, what the frick? There's no way. Small world. And then all of a sudden it clicked. Oh yeah, I did see you, and I did see you down under at PA school in Lejeune. So that's how we made, ladies and gentlemen. But hey, Kev, tell me what, obviously you had some up and downs in social media during different times of different years, right? But now that you have an established brand as the Barracks Barber, how is that helping you on the side, right? Vice just always posting, always is. How does that help you market your brand while you're out in Oceanside or in Cali, excuse me?
Well, so like I started work at this barbershop in Sacramento, August 16, 2021. And since then, so it's been almost 2 years now. So for a solid year and a half of that time, I worked 6 days and just first one in, last one out, pretty much. So like most of my income is like from just like fucking cutting hair. Like I'm pretty booked up right now.
Yeah.
And if you're in the Marine Corps or Army or whatever, and you cut hair in the barracks, and you're looking like to make barbering your career, it's super worth it. But just know, like, it takes time. Like for me to hit like 100K a year, it took me like fucking 5 years of experience to finally know what the fuck I was doing. Because it's not only just cutting hair, dude. It's fucking a lot of it. Most of it is just customer service. And if you're a Marine, dude, like what I do, fucking like the leadership traits that the Marine Corps teaches you, accountability, taking initiative, yada yada, all that shit. I apply all that shit to my business to help me be as professional as possible. And it's so easy to like stand out because in my 8 years of cutting hair, dude, barbers like naturally are super unprofessional, dude. Like, dude, it's funny as fuck, though. I've met like the funniest dudes ever cutting hair. But like dudes sleeping on the couch, fucking. It's so easy to compete with somebody who's like that,
Yeah. That's
like
interesting, man. You say that.
Yeah, it's like taking candy from a baby,
Yeah, for sure. So you're telling me that all this, the basic foundational Marine Corps hoorah, customs, courtesy, traditions that you learned throughout your reserve time, you just kind of just took that and just made you a better professional in terms of business.
Yeah,
which is great because that's exactly what the Marine Corps is looking for, a better product to civilian society, right? And you're the epitome of that because you're right. I've met some barbers. I go to a barber shop, right? I'm like, I need a good cut, man, because I'm very particular with my hair, right? I got to have a comb over, right? And I have to do all this, I got to line it up because I got a widow's peak. You can't cut it all. Blah. Anyways, long story short, I'll go into these places and there's just kind of dudes. I can see dudes ball sacks, pants sagging. I'm like, I know, man. I know this is like, dope atmosphere, right? This is the area, this is the atmosphere, and it's just kind of like interesting. I'm with 3 kids, and I'm like, can we be in here? I don't know what's going on the side. It's a little, iffy. So I'm always looking for somebody that's, super professional, can cut, right? Because I sit back and I just watch, and I'm listening. Before I even cut my hair, I'm there for like an hour, scoping out the place, going back and forth, driving back and forth, and then I finally pick my spot. But you're right, man. It to find a good professional barber, especially that has good customer service. Holy mackerel! Sometimes they're just going, and that's all you hear for a good 45 minutes before they're done cutting your hair, and then they expect a tip. I'm like, dog. First of all, I fell asleep and I got this line coming this way, and 2. Might as well cut at the barracks because the Barracks Barber. You know what I'm saying? They dude, remember, I know you know the stories. Barracks Barber just cut us high and tight, it's a super line back and forth just like this. That's why it's funny, man. That's why it's super catchy and I like it, man. It's no pun intended for the Barracks Barber. But hey, Kev, tell me about moving forward. Is the shop you're at now yours, or do you plan on opening your own shop?
This shop isn't mine, but it's always been since we moved out here. It's always been a goal that like after my wife's 2 year probation period, that we start looking into, you know, opening something up or start taking those steps, start taking that idea and make it more serious.
Yeah.
You know, but so that's where I'm at in life with that. I'm
That's
at like
dope.
the
Hey,
very beginning steps of if that's the goal right there, I'm at like step one right now. You
oh,
know,
okay. So you just started. You just started.
yeah. So like my those first 2 years was just fucking grind, and build up my clientele.
Yeah.
Then dude, I fucking surpassed like all my goals. Like, and and it comes from that moment in fucking boot camp when I all that shit and I believed in myself and I graduated squad leader. Like like that right there is what fucking I wouldn't be who I am today if it wasn't for that moment. Because I
Yeah.
even when I was in the Marine Corps, like all the dudes that I checked into the unit with, it was a bunch of motherfuckers. Even like a year dudes who were a year older, I still picked up corporal and sergeant before all of them. You know, so like it's always I've always had that drive. And then
Yeah.
when I had that page as Il Barber where I had 150,000 followers, that was straight out of barber school. So I'm the only barber, dude. I'm like a rookie ass barber with this crazy ass following, and I'm promoting barber shows, fucking all over California and shit, blah blah blah,
Yeah.
just fucking crushing it. And then during the pandemic, fucking, I'm not even supposed to be working. I'm still crushing it with this fucking hazmat suit on. You
Yeah.
fucking, I just adapt to all my situations, and I come out here 2 years ago, boom, like fucking, I literally made $100,000, like fucking 2 years in, and it took me one
Congratulations.
year. Thank you. It took me 1 year to finally start hitting those numbers. You
Yeah.
know, so I mean, that's kind of just like my track history. You
Yeah.
know,
But what I'm hearing is it takes time.
it takes a lot of time.
And if you're, it sounds like if you're willing to put in the time in something you're interested in and very passionate about, as long as you put in the time, you're going to be successful. That's what it sounds like, Kev. Is that accurate?
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, put in the time and
No.
then just be consistent. Just always show up. Be consistent. Like my daily schedule is wake up at 5 and go to the gym. You know, that's like because that's like the hardest thing to do. Dude, like after the Marine
Yeah.
Corps, dude, I gained like 50 pounds, dog. Just depressed as fuck, dude. And like, dude, it was all bad. I was up here, dude. I was not good up here for a while. You know,
Yeah.
with mental health and all that shit. So like this morning, dude, I ran 12 and a half miles this morning.
Mm-mm.
It's fucking
No way, dude. The Marine Corps tells me I need to run 3. That's it. That's it, dude. And I'll run it to the best of my abilities. But 3 and done. That's it.
yeah.
There's no way I'm running 12. No way. Not even when I retire, dog. I'm gonna be running 1 mile. That's it.
So that shit hurt.
One.
I was in fucking pain.
Hell yeah. No, dude. I remember.
See,
It's funny talk about the stupid 12K, dude. I freaking in Hawaii. I tried to run 6 miles, dude. I was out for a week. My
yeah.
knees hurt. Nope. Mm-mm. The
So yeah.
freaking. So you know how to do social media. You know how to market your brand. Does that come naturally to you, said, or is it just because of the ups and downs and time in your all
Um,
these situations happen and then it kind of helped your knowledge base?
yeah, that like in the past for sure I had the experience, but I feel like it just kind of comes a little bit more natural. So like this year, so like up until like December or January, I was cutting hair at the shop for like almost a year and a half. And I know like I'm good. My clientele's pretty solid. For the new year, this year, let me focus on building up my social media. I invested in a social media course, like two of them, and then from like January 1st to like April, I posted 2 3 times a day, and you just kind of gotta figure it out, you know. Like you gotta see after let's say a month of posting or 2 months of posting, you can look back and see what videos did good, why did they do good. Okay, now you figure out why did they good, start posting more of that type of videos, and then
Yeah.
just keep adjusting from there, keep adapting from there. Boom, boom, boom. And then I remember one of the dudes I bought his course. He says in his video, sometimes you just have to be like controversial to get people talking in the comment section. So
Yeah.
I posted a video pretty much saying "fuck long hair," like, and then dude, fucking so many people who cut long hair got fucking pissed because I
Yeah.
just like fucking roasted that whole shit, you know.
Yeah.
And it was just like spur in the moment, and me just shooting the shit because I want to learn. Eventually, I want to learn long hair too, you know. Because
Yeah.
to be a barber, technically, you gotta fucking learn that shit, and color hair and all that. But like this shit had like 70,000 views, and like the comments were just fucking going and going. And then I maybe around that same time, my buddy that cuts my apprentice that cuts hair next to me, he he was like, "Yo, check this out." And then he, with his comb, he goes like that to the back of this dude's head, and the dude has a sick dragon tattoo. But you can only see it when he's like lifting the comb, and then you see the eyes and all that shit. It's like super cool,
Oh.
right? And I'm like, oh, that's
Yeah.
fine. It's pinned on my Instagram if you want to check it out, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So, and I was already in the habit of posting multiple times a day, so automatically I pulled out my camera, I recorded it. I'm like, all right, that's cool, bet. I put it back in my pocket, and then like maybe like 3 days later, I needed something to post. While that other video with the long hair is still going off, and I posted this video, and then it took a couple days, but like when it was all said and done, that video had like 23 million views. Like it went super viral. Yeah. So then at the same time, I got verified, and then there's a whole nother story that I'm involved with, and
Yeah.
so and for this I need to backtrack. Okay.
Go
To
ahead. Go ahead.
the withdrawal of Afghanistan.
Yeah.
We all saw it. It was fucking horrible. And so I see it at the shop. All the Marines at the shop were like, "Dude, I have a friend out there. I know somebody over there." Blah blah blah. Shit happens. The explosion happens. The 13 service members pass away, and then like 3 weeks later, um, I I see a video that pops up, and it's this major. He talks about he's on CBS News, like national news. He talks about a corporal after the explosion. He gets shot in the shoulder and picks up his weapon and then shoots back and kills the ISIS fighter. Right? And then in the comment section, that corporal, he responds. He's like, "Hey, that's me." And then, long story short, because I've always been freaking, I'm a barber. I grind. You know, I send them a DM, and he was from 2-1, so I already knew he's coming to Wounded Warrior.
Yeah.
You know, so I sent him a DM saying like, "Bro, I freaking, thank you for your service and everything. Like, if you need a barber, I'll cut your hair for free. Don't even trip. Like, lifetime free haircuts." And like a lot of
Dang.
it was because like, the shit that they saw, it was fucking,
Yeah.
ugh, just trying to be a good person.
Yeah. Yeah.
anyways, but he responds like in 10 minutes, and then like a week later, that same Marine, he comes into the barbershop with his arm, with his hand in his pocket because he got shot, and then for the next year and a half, I'm cutting his hair. And then I end up cutting. He refers me to a couple of his other buddies that got Purple Hearts. Um, my buddy Wilson, my buddy Finley. Cut up one of the snipers out there, Cooper, couple guys, Corman, all that. And throughout this whole time, like, for the most part, like, I mean, he would hit me up for a cut, but just to be that person, you know how they always say, like, look out for your Marines and all that shit?
Yeah.
I would reach out to him. Like, if I didn't hear from him in, like, a month, I'd be like, hey, fucker, you need a haircut. Come through. You know?
Yeah.
I violently told him to get haircuts. And
Yeah,
he would,
yeah, yeah.
you know? So I'll cut his hair, and over a couple months, he'll open up little by little, more and more, And then after every haircut, he'll feel better,
Yeah, for sure.
So fast forward a year and a half, he's about to get out the Marine Corps, and he's a lot better. Like, mentally, he's a lot better. We laugh, we shoot the shit, we have a great relationship. And then earlier this year, I was on a podcast of this dude, Urban Valor TV. Shout out to my boy Josh at Urban Valor TV. He puts me on his podcast, and it was a great time. He interviews like veterans and everything. So then when my buddy, his name is Sanchez, he's about to get out, and I'm like, hey, go on Urban Valor TV and like tell your story because you have a fucking crazy story, And he was like, why don't you tell it? Like, why don't we record it? He's like, I didn't even know that guy. And I was like, for real? And I'm like, can I ask you anything? He was like, bro, ask me anything you want. And I'm like, all right, cool. So then, like, in 2 weeks, I ordered these fucking little makeshift fucking mics. So, like, you see the mics that, like, the Marines are wearing in my videos?
Yeah, I seen them.
That mic right there. And then, so one day after the shop closed, sat down in my chair, I fucking hit record on the camera, and we had this wild interview. And, like, and it all comes back to, like, so, like, maybe, like, 2-3 months after I met him, the Pentagon released a report saying that all the Marines that said they saw gunfire say that they were concussed and they made the shit up. And as him being my client and my friend, like, so I know you didn't make this shit up. So, because you telling me shit in detail. So then when we recorded his interview and we posted it, this was like the first, like, other than that CBS in the morning interview, this was like the first, like, piece of content saying otherwise. And that there was a lot of shocking things in that interview that, like, people couldn't ignore it. And I think that interview, like, with the series, because I made like a bunch of little clips all together, is probably close to like 1.5 million views or something like that. And all those videos, you know where they went, dude? They went straight up the fucking chain of command. And then people saw this interview and submitted it to the Committee of Foreign Affairs to be part of that whole investigation of what happened over there.
Okay.
So yeah, so when that video with the long hair happened and with the tattoo in the back of the head, I already had these other interviews. I mean, these other videos of Sanchez, like, already edited. It just kind of all happened at the same time. And I posted it, and then those was super viral.
Nice.
And then at the same time, there's congressional hearings with Tyler Vargas Andrew, the amputee. Yeah. This is around that time. And yeah, that's pretty much. And now I'm working on my fourth interview. I'm going to be posting in a couple days. So once you start seeing like is what a dude named Romel Finley. He's one of the Purple Heart recipients. So in a couple days, you're gonna see those videos posted, and
That's
those
what's up, man. I can't wait.
yeah, it's probably gonna get a big reach.
Hell yeah, you do good work out there in Cali, man. Especially with this name, man. You're gonna get, at least in my opinion, right? Again, this is only my opinion. You caught me just based off the name,
Yeah,
and I'm active duty, and if I know I'm in Oceanside or in California, I'm gonna definitely hit you up, chop this fro off a little bit. Um, but dude, I appreciate you coming on, Kev. Man, you got some good following, ladies and gentlemen. It's Kev Martinez, Barracks Barber on Instagram. You got anything anywhere else you share your stuff on, or is IG?
just mainly IG, because dude, oh YouTube. If you want to watch those full interviews, they're on YouTube. So _Barracks Barber.
That's dope, man. I'll be checking it out on YouTube. Ladies and gentlemen, that's Kevin Martinez, Barracks Barber on Instagram, YouTube, the Barracks Barber. Hey, Kev, man, I appreciate you taking the time, coming out, chopping it up with me. It's been a while, and I'm definitely gonna hit you up with some social media stuff, because this stuff is whack hard, man. I ain't even about that life, man. I'm too busy. I'm still active duty trying to figure this out. You know what I mean?
Yo,
It's freaking tough.
yeah, I think it comes to you gotta outsource some of this fucking work, because there's a lot of fucking work.
Hell yeah, frick. I remember doing the very first session in late January. I just started in January, this whole thing, and I was like, man, what platform am I gonna use? I ain't got that much money to be burning just to friggin' do tracks and video, and I didn't even get to video until somebody reached out and said, hey, this is a good one. It costs excuse me, it doesn't cost too much. It's right within your budget. I'm like, all right, dope. What is it? And then I got this, which does miracles for me, right? Because now I have little snippets I can post barely, but the podcast itself, man, is definitely, if you don't know, I would say ask the right people. For you, for me, I'm definitely gonna be hitting you up on the DM, like, hey, dog, how do you get this? How do you get that on social media? I'm trying to get that same following, right? Because we all service members got to stick together, man. We're a core group of people, the very few and the very proud. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
So, yeah, I appreciate you coming out, Kev. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Barracks Barber on Instagram. Again, this is Pit Talk, pulling pits and opinions with your host, Gunny G. We out.